Okay, so I'm here to talk about some shielded versus non-shielded etherCON or RJ45 cable. We've been getting a bunch of calls, people hooking up SoundTools CAT box, CAT tails, CAT rack, WallCAT, and the whole basis of the system is to use the 8 wires for twisted pairs inside a standard RJ45 or Cat5e type cable. And the system does rely on a shielded cable. That 9th wire or the shield helps eliminate hum and buzz, but it also carries the ground part of phantom power and allows us to utilize these data cables as high quality audio cables with a shield or a common ground. So how to tell if a cable is shielded? First of all, you can read the writing on the cable, which I can't because it's too little for my eyes. If it starts with an F, which stands for foil, or an S, which stands for shielded, it means that the cable itself has a shield inside. If it starts with a U, that's unshielded, or it starts with something else. But you're looking for an F or an S in the beginning. Even if the cable is shielded, if the connectors are not the proper connectors and do not have the metal housing, then the shield will not be utilized and connected. And we can see that. Here's one that's just got a plastic housing. And if we take the multimeter, and obviously plastic does not conduct to plastic. Here is one that's got a metal shield on the outside. And you could just check continuity between the metal housings of the RJ45. All of the SoundTools cables are shielded. You can put the meter inside the housing here and test them. That's a SuperCAT sound, SuperCAT, same thing. What we do for testing cables, we actually load 4 XLR senders into the male side and 4 sniffers into the female side. And we use it as the XLR sniffer sender to check all 4 lines simultaneously. I believe this cable here is intermittent. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, here we go. Here's one that's got a bad ground. So you can see that it's lighting and unlighting. Kind of fun checking cables. All right, there's one that's an etherCON that has no continuity on the ground. All right, so the shield is critical to the operation of these boxes. Now they will work, but they will not work CAT box, CAT tails, CAT rack. They will all work with unshielded cable for line level audio signals, although they will be more susceptible to hum and buzz. They will not carry phantom power. They will work for DMX. For AES, does not require the shield, although it's helpful in preventing it from interfering with other things. I've also got something kind of cool here. Is the new prototype for the CAT sniffer sender in our 3D printed housing. So let's check some cables with that. It's counting around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's a ninth, 7, 8, ninth LED in the middle, which shows the shield, and we're not seeing that, so we know this cable's unshielded. Let's grab a shielded one here. And there's one, and we can see the 9th one is lighting in the middle there. So that's another way to check for shield. So all in all, we really want to make sure that your cables have the shield. First of all, they must have the metal housing. Second of all, some people will put the metal housing connectors, but use cable that does not have the shield inside of it. Additionally, people will use shielded cable, will be labeled shielded, but they might not use the metal housing on the connectors. Or finally, they'll use the shielded cable and the metal housing connectors, but they won't terminate the shield to the housing. And we've run into all of those scenarios. So it's important that you either check with a multimeter between the housings or find a test method that checks for the shield to ensure, especially if you're having some troubles picking up phantom power or other signals down Cat5e or better cable.